The police were dependent on the office of the president. And what officials did was, if they didn't want a certain case to be investigated, they did.
Pretending to be doing something after the facts. After more than 100 people died, the army only comes after the facts.
Welcome to AfriFreedomChannel, your voice for African truth, justice, and freedom. If you value raw, relevant, and revealing updates on African leadership and the pulse of our continent, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more. Let's get into today's hard. A recent post by Al Jazeera has resurfaced a video of Kenyan President William Ruto speaking just weeks after being sworn into office.
The police were dependent on the office of the president. And what officials did was, if they didn't want a certain case to be investigated, they didn't provide resources for it. I did the same with the police. For a long time, the police were dependent on the office of the president. And what officials did was, if they didn't want a certain case to be investigated, they didn't provide resources for it. I have now, in the last 2 weeks, I have removed the budget of the police from my office, and now they run an independent budget, an independent mandate. They can investigate whatever cases they want. They have to deal with security in the manner in which they figure out, and my government will be there to support them. We are making changes, some of which do not even require financial resources. There is a lot that we are going to achieve.
In that speech, Ruto promised transparency, dignity, and respect for the constitution. He positioned himself as a servant leader, stating that he would govern with the people's will in mind and ensure that every Kenyan's rights were respected. Yet today, under his watch, the streets of Kenya are flooded not with prosperity, but with protest. The very youth he once praised are now met with bullets, not dialogue. Has power changed Ruto, or was the man we saw back then just a performance? How can a man preach peace and rule through fear? Do you think Ruto has betrayed the very people who elected him? If a leader's words are worthless, what hope is there for democracy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has sparked outrage after declaring that the government will not cooperate with any investigations into police killings.
Mungetumia bunduki kupiga hawa asingekuwa na shida kabisa. Si mmesikia hata leo nimetangazia kila mtu kwa Kenya. Sio ati ni siri tena. Nimesema askari mwenye atasumbuliwa ati anapelekwa kotini kwa sababu alitumia bunduki kujichunga, ama kuchunga police station, ama kuchunga bunge, ama kuchunga government office kotini, ama wapi. Mtu akijaribu kwanza hawezi, because hatuta cooperate. We will not cooperate with anybody who is trying to punish police officers who have done their job or protect themselves, protect their life. Hakuna itawezekana. Ya pili, police officer mwenye atakuwa na shida yote tutamchukulia wakili. Hakuna vile tutawacha ati police officer hangaike tu peke yake. Na mtaona hiyo maneno ikisonga. Bora tu usitumie sasa hii nafasi useme haya kwa sababu nitachungwa, acha niende nitembelee jirani hapo ni test. Hapana. Yani you already know kwa your standing orders what it means. Situation kama hii hata watu 10 ngapi wangeumizwa, hakuna shida, because ungefanyia nini sasa police station kama hii? Ana sasa hasara imeenda, bunduki imeenda, place imechomeka, watu wameumia, na wananchi sasa wangewao. Ingekuwa
bunduki itatumiwa kuua wananchi.
Yes, exactly. Like sasa hiyo bunduki yenye imepotea, wewe unafikiria inafanywa robberies ngapi wapi? Yeah? So saizi wananchi are in danger because of that bunduki imetoka kutoka.
His statement: if a police officer uses their gun while protecting themselves or government property, they will be legally shielded by the government. This is not governance, this is the normalization of extrajudicial killings. When leaders protect killers in uniform, who protects the ordinary citizen? What happens when the line between law enforcement and state-sponsored violence is completely erased? How many innocent lives must be lost before justice takes precedence over loyalty to power? What message does this send to grieving families across Kenya? Is the government declaring war on its own people? Tell us in the comments, because silence is complicity. Meanwhile, in South Africa, a different kind of leadership is emerging. Julius Malema, leader of the economic freedom fighters, has stepped into the chaos of the Mthatha floods in the Eastern Cape. Unlike
pretending to be doing something after the facts. After more than 100 people died, the army only comes after the facts. So we want a responsive government, and the EFF is such a responsive government where if there is a disaster means there is an emergency. You can't be calling meetings, and we must meet on the ground and help people on the ground, not meetings in boardrooms and talking English when children are dying. So we are going to make sure you are all of you attended to. Yesterday, the national chair was telling me we had one family with a bereavement. There is 4 families now who want to bury their loved ones. We are going to help them as the EFF to bury those loved ones in a dignified manner so that we restore the dignity of this. There's an issue that another person was supposed to bury someone, they are refusing the burial rights. The EFF has to attend to that issue urgently. No one should be refused a burial right. If it's traditional leadership, we can take it up with him, then he will take it up with those people. If it's the police or the municipality, we will take it up with the police and the municipality to make sure that whoever needs to be buried must be buried, and no one must be denied a right to be buried in a dignified manner. So we are with you and we are going to support you. Leaders of the EFF know the leaders of the centers. Bambanani says they are not recognized as a center. They have been chased out of a church or whatever. We need to find them an alternative accommodation as soon as possible. Whether the people want to stay there or not, it is a personal choice. But we cannot have children sleeping under trees because someone is denying people access. Let's find them a hall, let's find them a church, let's find them a school. Let's go back to the same church and plead with the church that please accommodate these people while we're still looking for urgent solution.
Like many who flee crisis zones, Malema promised immediate action to help flood victims, offering not just sympathy but solutions. He didn't speak from the comfort of an office, he spoke from the mud and tears of the people. In a time where leaders often use tragedy for publicity, Malema's urgency brings a refreshing contrast to the detached arrogance we've seen elsewhere on the continent. Why is it that in times of disaster, some leaders show up while others disappear? Should leadership be defined by press releases or presence on the ground? What does Malema's response teach us about the role of empathy in governance? Let your voice be heard in the comment section. Across the continent, we are seeing a stark difference between leaders who speak and those who act, between those who serve and those who dominate. Kenya's streets bleed, while its leaders justify oppression. Meanwhile, the cries of South Africans find a human response in Julius Malema. Africa is awake, and the people are watching, questioning, and resisting. We must demand better, not later, but now. To all our viewers, stay informed, stay united, and stay unafraid. Our silence will not build the Africa we deserve, only our courage will. The future of Africa belongs to those who refuse to look away.